your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. I am Josh Van Slackman. Thank you for joining us. In our headlines this morning, AG strongly disagrees with bail granted to men found with guns and ammunition. Exxon to bring up 20,000 barrels more per day by 2022 from Liza 1. Boat owners beg government's help to retrieve vessels held by Venezuelan authorities. And ExxonMobil contract has clause to renegotiate, but provision mandates only with written agreements by all parties. And coalition has doubled GWI employees and government claims as it moves to lay off staff. And reinstatement of 40% tariff on soap in keeping with regional ruling on trade, according to the government. And let's get to the news in details. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal has expressed his disagreement with a decision by Principal Magistrate Sherdal Isaac Marcus to release 4 men on firearm-related charges. On Friday, the 4 men who were recently arrested on separate charges of unlawful possession of illegal firearms in 2 separate incidents made their first court appearance and were placed on $200,000 bail each. In a Facebook post, the AG said that the decision of the magistrate to release the 4 men on bail on their first appearance rightfully evoked grave concerns and criticism among members of the public. The AG stated that the state might soon have to resort to extreme measures of subjecting similar decisions of magistrates to judicial review in the High Court and lodge complaints with the Judicial Service Commission. Hess Corporation's Chief Operating Officer Greg Hill has revealed that the Stabroek Block operator ExxonMobil will be increasing the production capacity of the Liza Destiny oil vessel by some 20,000 barrels for 2022. Hill said that the Liza Destiny is already operating at 120,000 barrels of oil per day, even though the flash gas compressors in the USA undergoing repairs and a small amount of redesign. That equipment was removed after malfunctioning for a 4th time since being in operation. Hill said it will come back out on platform in June and be operational by July 1. And once it becomes operational, production will be able to walk up somewhere between $120,000 to 130,000 barrels of oil per day. And moving on with your newscast, at least 4 Guyanese boat owners are seeking their government's help in retrieving their vessels from the Venezuelan armed forces. Their boats are in the custody of Venezuelan authorities, and based on information received from the Venezuelan journalist, a total of 6 Guyanese boats were detained in October and December 2020, and to date are still being held by the Venezuelan lawmen for investigation purposes. Speaking with Kaieteur News yesterday, the owner of one of the boats, Vijay Singh, said that he along with other boat owners are calling for the Guyana government intervention to speed up the investigation because their vessels are allegedly being stripped of key parts by the ranks of the Venezuelan armed forces. We tell you now that the production sharing agreement, PSA, with the lead operator of the Stabroek Block, ExxonMobil, and their partners, Hess Corporation Incorporated and CNOOC, provides that the heavily criticized agreement can be in fact renegotiated. The provision comes with the renegotiation that happens only with a signed written agreement between all of the parties involved. According to that provision in the PSC, commonly referred to as the contract, this agreement shall not be amended or modified in respect except by written agreement entered into by all parties, which shall state the date upon the amendment or modifications shall become effective. Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Water Corporation, Sheikh Bash, has confirmed that the utility company is gearing off to lay a number of staff members as a result of the entity's high wages bill and related production. This Bash claim was due to the fact that the staffing complement was doubled by the coalition's administration under the leadership of then CEO Dr. Richard Van West Charles. CEO Bash gave this disclosure this past week during a press engagement and told reporters that as it relates to staffing at the entity, when we compare 2015 to August 2020, we found that the employment numbers moved from just over 600 in 2015 to 1,300 in 2020. This, he said, led to the employment cost being increased from about $96 million in 2015 to $240 million in 2020. And finally, at this time, in response to criticism from the opposition over the reinstatement of 40% common external tariff on all soaps, the Ministry of Finance last Wednesday issued a statement explaining that the decision to restore the tax is in keeping with a 2018 ruling of the CARICOM Council for Trade and Economic Development on the matter. Further, the ministry called the opposition's criticism misleading, given that it is well aware of the issue as the decision was taken while the opposition was still in government. On Wednesday, GRA published a notice outlining the move to reintroduce 40% CET on all extra-regional soaps. The announcement sparked criticism from the APNU OAFC coalition, with opposition leader Joseph Harmon calling the government's decision an unfair to Guyanese who are faced with economic hardship due to the pandemic. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Let me remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at the newsstand near you, or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I am Joshua Van Slegman. Thank you for joining us. Have a great remainder of your Sunday morning. Encouraging you to